and I'm in Clubhouse, and I think, you know, social media is cool. I mean, again, if you had said, well, you're going to start an Instagram account, I would say, ha, I don't even like Facebook, whatever. So now I have an Instagram account. And so that part of it is good. I also do some energy healing, which I think is awesome. And I have a room in Clubhouse twice a day on Sundays for that. And I mean, I get that starting a business is hard, and I know that I'm just starting out. It's just to cut through the noise out there just about makes me lose my mind. And by nature, I'm a super happy, bubbly person, you know, I'm like, la, la, la. And then something comes in my way and I just go, and I just get so like, ugh.
By the way, I love your hair. So curly.
Oh,
so
thank
fun,
you.
So nice.
Thank you.
Very attractive.
And I'm usually a little more, I was doing something like, well, I have to make sure I'm on time for the call. So, but I always make sure to have flowers in my hair and sparkles on my cheeks. And
I love it. That's
thank you.
about your personality.
And I really appreciate that. I mean, here's the thing. Okay. I appreciate that people say that I have this great energy and they feel so happy after they're talking to me. At the end of the day, I would still like to have not just enough money to buy a pizza when I want it, but how about like the most expensive pizza ever? Hey, how about having a pizza? I just thought of this now. How about having a pizza flown in from someplace like really like some legendary place in Chicago or New York? Yes. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I heard
no
this pizza is great.
No boundaries. Yeah.
I will fricking pay someone to go buy that pizza. I don't care if it's cold by the time it gets to me in Minnesota. I want them to get on a plane.
That's awesome. Well, that's a unique way of putting it. That's great. Absolutely. It's all right here. The distance you have to go is 6 inches. That's what it's all about.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And it's between your ears. And that's, you know, there's two things, Tiff. There are business acumen issues and there are mental mindset, success mentality acumen issues. I coach on both. And because many times it's not so much the business type thing, but it's their thinking that's blocking and having things happen for them because it's just not working right here. But once that's relief, man, the business plan, the things you had lined up, it just takes off. So I'm excited that you understand. I have a sense you know that that's true.
It is, and yet, you know, it's just so crazy because then you get to that moment of trying to figure things out. And here's the thing. I am very appreciative that I figured out that, how do I say it, like failing forward? Like, I get that. Okay. Yeah. My whole thing is, okay. And then you learn. I just think they're like, I'm just kind of talking this out now because I'm not sure how to explain it, but like there's the mistakes that you make because you refuse to look at things as they are, or you look at how things as they are, you go for it, and then you can learn from those. And I get this one. It's just, I feel like I'm always on this side where I'm just kind of throwing spit against the wall and I'm flailing. And I don't want that for myself. I certainly don't want that if I'm going to be, you know, trying to energetically heal moms, like, you know, because the flailing.
Let's take that mom situation you're talking about. You mentioned you want to help moms. Now let's stretch it out a little bit more. Define for me. Let's say I'm your first mom. Okay, you're coming to me. I'm seeing some information. What is there, your little 30-second blurb that really defines what you're going to do for me, what you're about that would attract me? In other words, what's that little mini story that's going to, man, I got to check into this. How would you define what you're about? Have you been able to do that yet in your mind?
Question. Because I could say I have in my mind. I love moms because moms are awesome. And it's how amazing is it for a mom because the people I want to help are the moms that they stayed at home to take care of the kids. They got a partner. And now the youngest is in school full time, like kindergarten to first grade type of thing.
Okay.
So the mom, she's got kids in the house. They're all there. They're in school during the day now. And she has a chance to pursue her dreams. And maybe that's starting a business, or maybe that's something that, maybe a hobby. Maybe she just wants to figure out a way to, I would say maybe even organize the family. Like there's something that I could help her with that I could support her on. And maybe she doesn't want to start a business, or maybe she likes some clarity on that. Like maybe there's some dreams, like if they're so like far out over here somewhere, and if I could bring them here to go, okay, is that what you want? No. Is that what you want? No. Is that what you want? That's what I want.
Well, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds a little like you're talking about a life coach that's not focused on business alone, but it's focused on moms who are stay-at-home moms. They have a dream. They don't know how to launch. They don't know how to get started, believing in themselves, that whole thing, and identifying, okay, if I have this love for photography, I don't want to do a business, but I want to enjoy it as a talent and expand upon it. And you're going to want to help life coach them into taking that and having that happen. Am I understanding you right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me do something. I'm going to share my screen, and you can stop me and answer any questions as we go along.
Okay.
Can I share my screen, and you tell me if you see everything right there?
I was at a laptop, so I was making sure I could have it.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. This is my website. I wanted to show you a few things so you could understand what I talk about. I'm Living the Dream Coaching. And above our pictures here, I'm going to move it to the center. There's a video right there. It tells about me. What's it like working with Coach B, that can save some time and not steal your time in this hour. But it's livingthedreamcoaching.com. It's no G in there. It's just livin, L-I-V-I-N,
Yeah.
dreamcoaching.com. Okay. And this talks about me, and it has 5 podcasts I've got on there. They're fun. The first one is What's the First Step to Success? You're going to love that. Number 4 is
cool.
You're going to love the one on going to the movies, because it's really what you're describing here. Video journal. I started a year and a half ago, doing a daily journal when this idea of business coaching came up after 44 years. And I've kept a daily, it's really raw, Tiff, at the beginning, and that's okay. But you go ahead and listen and hear the stories and how I apply the very things, this 12 steps to sequential steps to starting and launching the business successfully. And then the Let Me Help talks about the 3 ways that I coach in the way of payments and things like that. So you never have any question. I'm right front forward of what that is. And we can even talk about that now, but in our coaching situation here. And then coaching system, it breaks down what my system is. So I'm going to click on that one just for a second, so that this should give you some idea of some of the things that's going to draw in your ladies to what you're about. Even if it's on a little more simplistic scale on Instagram, you can still do some posts and things and some video posts that will really help as you help define and tell that story. So on this system here, it talks of my 12 lessons. You can see these right here. The first one, how to come up with a good business idea that's tailor-made to that person. How to come up with a fantastic goal or dream that's tailor-made for you, that fulfills your passions, those kind of things that you're talking about. The second lesson, and these are videos that I have that is part of my coaching package, identify your target market, really getting it down to where, and so it's not so broad that you're just trying to reach everybody and you can't reach anybody, that kind of thing. And lesson 3, research your competition, so forth. So you can go to this page and see these. And when you click on one of these, like this one here, it's going to go up to a page and show basically some of the things I cover in that video. Okay. And you'll be able to do that. So that's on the home page here. Then on the login, you can see it up here, member login. Once those that are members and they're part of my community, they get a login, it'll take them to this page, which is the behind the scenes page. And so as you become a client, you'll get access to this, and it'll have LTT coaching, it'll have content, which I'll talk about that in a moment, and insights. And on the insights page, I just did another video today, adding to it this one right here, Joseph Carbone. I didn't, but Croy Sather, Rochelle Crowder, who's a photographer. He is a life coach himself. And so I'm doing videos that tell their success story, their mindset. You get a sense of how they accomplished it, that kind of thing. So there's that insight situation. And I'm going to go back to here, the about page. So though this site, the public stuff is there for you to see, but the member login stuff is where all the lessons are. And so I'm going to go right back to, I should show you something right here at the top. There is a Ask Coach B here. It lets you ask a question. Midnight, doesn't matter. Before 24 hours is up, I'll answer it. And you'll get that in an email with all the information. Or you can come back to the site where the Ask Coach and type in your question, and boom, it's right there at the answer. So that's another way that you'll get coaching, and we'll still have opportunity. Now, this call schedule one, I want to show you here. There's 3 ways I coach. There's the first way is through a group call on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. One is the afternoon, one's the evening on Thursday. And you come into, just like we're here, there'd be 3 people, 2 people, 10 people, 100 people, doesn't matter. And the ones I call on, I bring on, like I brought you on, we're coaching now. You have a few warriors there watching this and listening and hearing your coaching, hearing my answers to you that may be some that they have. And then another one comes on, it's a whole different business, but it's similar questions or new questions
Mm-hmm.
that people will be able to get answers to, okay? And this is a call schedule that shows the schedules, the dates and the times for people to be able to do that. And that way they get group coaching, individual coaching on a webinar Zoom type setting. That's all part of their membership. It's not any additional kind of thing. And the Ask Coach is no additional kind of thing. And all the other stuff that's there is nothing additional to that. The only thing that's additional outside that membership is if you decide to do the lessons, and let me just see something here. I'm going to go right to here, and I want to go right up to this one right here. I'm sorry, to the top. I'm going to go, this is a join live call. If somebody knew they're here, we could hit that and they'd come right into our call if they wanted to. Let's see, Business Coach Insights content. Let's go to content. And this is where you or any of the clients that are part of the membership that are in the community, they'll be able to come here and see the list of lessons that are available here. I start out with kind of a ramp up of 4 videos to kind of get your head right up to where it needs to get to. And it shows the coaching information of calls that have happened. And you can go back and watch them old ones that have already been recorded. So anything that has been recorded going forward and going past, you have access to, okay? And when a new one's done, it's put into that month and we're done, okay? And this order coaching step lessons here, when they click on that, it goes to the 12 lessons one at a time, and you choose at your pace, you choose which one, and those are like $50. And it's about an hour video, 35, 40-minute video, lots of details. I'm refiring off, and then we get a chance to have conversation. You know, and Coach B, on the lessons on marketing, you said that I'll answer it in the Zoom meetings, or I can do it on a personal 1-hour session. And here's the thing, not everything has to be a coaching personal 1 hour with me hit, because there may just be a few things that Ask Coach B can answer that. And you don't need to pay that extra. It's a nice way to go through these lessons, go to the that's 8 times a month if you do the Tuesday, Thursday type thing and hearing the questions answered, and you can formulate those few questions you want to have and do a session once a month or every other week. That's entirely up to the person to choose at what pace that they want to go. Others may want to just buy the whole package and say, I got you for the year, let's get after it, and here's how I want to go about it, and we'll do that as well. Okay? So that's what's available on the content page. And this is where you can sign up for a free coaching session whenever you want. And it does the same kind of thing we did here with the free hour, only it says it's a 1-hour session that they pay the $50 for. And I'm on to it. We're on just like here. And then I answer questions and help you get past the snag or whatever the situation is, or where to go for this and what not to do that. And that's what those private sessions are a lot about. Or in our Zoom meeting like this, if this was being recorded, which is, folks could listen in and say, oh, that question got answered. That's great. Or, man, still didn't get that answer. I'm going to send it to Coach B, or I want a much longer session about that, okay? Because I want to keep the cost down low. And so when you consider for your life coach approach to your ladies who are moms wanting to break out and really do some things, they've been there several years getting the kids to that point, and they have even kids in junior high, and they're coming in from starting kindergarten now, and they have their mornings to really be them, because usually kids can take up the whole world, as it were. This allows them to have a life coach like you, but more niche oriented, and you want to be able to say that in a clear way. And I have a very much so a lesson to help you define what your story is. One of the lessons, I'm going to pull this out and tell you, this is, let me find it right here. It's called Craft Your Story / Approach, Your Founding Story. And that's lesson 10. So if we go back to this page here, and let's go to coaching system, I think it's lesson 10 right here. I want to show you that the basic thing is it's learning some real skill how to craft your story, because it's your story is going to give birth to all your marketing. It's going to give to your tagline. It's going to give to really maybe even the name of your business and what you're offering people. There we go. So let's look at number 10 right here, crafting your story. So when I click on that, I share the secret to making your business stand out in the marketplace. Pull your audience closer to you and get them more and more excited about your business month after month. I also share the secret of how to fascinate your audience, which will result in their emotional buy-in of you. I share the secret of how to gain a new confidence, not only in your business, but in yourself as well. Anyways, it goes through that process. So coming up with your story is going to be so important. And that's what's going to attract and keep the attention of those ladies. Say, Tiff's got it. I got to learn more. And they maybe come and see some of your free podcasts, or they come and hear you tell that story. So coming up, Tiff, is it Tiffany, or do you prefer Tiff?
Oh, I like Tiff, actually. Thanks for
Tiff,
asking.
that's great. And so Tiff, it's you understanding what the differentiators are from all the other voices out there, why you and your story and what you want to offer in the way of that life coaching to those women is going to draw them in. Now, they may have to have a few little tidbits of a video here, like I did with you, and other things that they say, I've just got to be able to, it's what I call offer results ahead of time, just a little taste, letting them have a taste of Tiff and what she offers ahead of time, that they say, I got to learn more from her. Let's see if it's really what I want to do. And that allows them to get a chance without a real strong sense of obligation to say, man, that was an exciting discussion. I really want to connect up with her. Tiff's got what I'm looking for. And so that's kind of where you're at in this beginning. Maybe you've got a curriculum, maybe you've got a podcast in mind, maybe you've got those things. That's what I do in coaching, to kind of help you break down how to come back, come up with the dream, expand it out, and then backtrack in. So you define the steps clear down to here where you have your daily task that's going to knock off pieces by pieces. And what I call that is bringing, it's the law of attraction, law of manifestation, where you attract into your portal of your mind, your dream. And then through actions of those steps I just talked about, you manifest it into the world of the physical, one piece at a time. And my journal over that year of 2020 told that story for me, how it manifested piece by piece by piece. And it doesn't just dump on you in one night and man, you got this whole year's mountain of work. It's a little different than that, you know, but if you know the beginnings, you can be so involved and it leads to this and leads to that. And so that's kind of what I do with my folks, is I try to find out what they want. I help them to the steps so they're not sprinting and falling, you know, like that story that runs the sprint and he falls and he gets up and falls in because he's too fast. Instead of just slowing it down a little bit, let's do the steps that'll build upon. And so that's what I call them, the 12 sequential steps to starting and launching the business successfully. And through those steps, you'll see it mount up. Each one you'll see adds on to the other. And then when you're ready to market your business right here in lesson 12, it's going to bring those ladies in and you've got something there for them to have and enjoy. Even if it's all through the Instagram page that you have, that's okay too. So I've talked enough on that. That's kind of an overview of what we'd be doing and what you should consider doing as well. Questions? Any? Okay.
It's very clearly laid out. I like the call it thumbnails.
Yes. Yeah. And
I
then
like the
just a
thumbnails.
little system to let them see what it is. I do a little teasers in that, learn how to this, learn the 4 steps you don't want to, learn this that you don't want to do. And that's kind of what I've approached here, but I'm willing to answer any question. Your competition, it's kind of like when you go in and you really look at your competitors' ads and your competitors' dialogues, you really can see what they're all about and what you need to be about as well, but what you need to do as a differentiator to set you apart from them. And that's all part of learning what researching your competition is about. Because interesting enough, I'm sure there's women who have the similar feelings that you've had that are marketing or businesses out there trying to reach your niche that you're wanting to reach as well. So we're going to help you separate yourself from them and really be something that they come to you. It's not like the whole world comes to you, but even if you get a good slice of that market and dominate it, you're going to do very well. You're going to do very well in that regard. And then testing your business ideas. Before you pump a lot of money in to testing, this one right here lets you do a few things that I coach you to do so you can massage it in that before you put some hard-earned dollars in, it's going to explode in your face because we didn't test it first. Okay. A little testing of what you've come up with and that kind of thing. And then we're going to come up with the boring stuff like the budget. So you know what to do it. how you want to accomplish and what it's going to cost to accomplish it, and what broken noses I'm going to try to help you avoid so you don't have those costs. You can stay successful and keep going. And then, of course, lesson 7 is choose your legal structure. In other words, is it going to be a little sole proprietorship? Is it going to be a LLC? Is it going to be ultimately a corporation? You don't want to do a corporation. And banking, a lot of folks say they want to go get a business account. Time out. Let's not do a business account yet and get all those bankers' noses in your business. Let's do a little personal account and then a DBA that doesn't cost anything, that you can keep it separate and get it up to a point where then it does require to go the next step and get a bank. And those little things is what I help my folks
Wow.
do, so they understand to not make those mistakes that makes it just so more complicated. We want to be big stuff and do a lot of things, and that day is going to come. But in the beginning, it's all about protecting your dollars, protecting you, and getting these bugs out so that when you launch, great things can happen for you. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
building and developing a website. A lot of folks don't have to have a website. You don't have to have a website. Instagram, Facebook page, that can be enough to start out with, and we can incorporate a lot of things that I'm talking about. But ultimately, people are going to want to go and search for you and find you. Well, when the dollars are there to do that, I can show you some inexpensive way to get a website done, but you don't want to spend that money right at the beginning, okay? And so those are the kind of things that I cover in these 12 lessons. I answer questions that people have. They may not want to buy all of them. They may just want to, I think this one I need that research your company. What is that all about? Or you just do one at a time. So the bottom line is that's $600 for those 12 lessons, right? At 50 bucks. You know, that may be, no, $50 times 12 is $600. Yeah. And if somebody buys them all, I cut it down to $475. But it is $50 this week, and it's $50 4 weeks later, or whenever. You can go at whatever pace, do it however fast you want, and maybe not even buy one of those lessons. Maybe just want to do a coaching session like this. That's entirely up to the client. Okay. So as I look at this, what I've heard you saying here, energy healing can be a nice quote module in your life coaching, but you don't want to have two opposing goals happening, because it may do a conflicting pull on you, that you're not great at one, you're so at both. You know what I'm trying to say there?
Right. Yep, I do.
You want to be careful of it, but there's no reason why you can't include some knowledge base that you have and something that you know helps people, but that can be a separate podcast or a separate module in the overall quote packaging that you do of packaging yourself and your story, as opposed, I'm going to do this as a separate business, I'm going to do that. You don't want to do that, because that's just going to really slow down one or the other. Okay. So I don't need to share that anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and hit stop sharing, and it'll bring us back here. Other questions that you have as you go forward, and or not go forward, that's up to you, that I can help to give you that sense of trust.
No, this is I like the let's see, getting kids I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I mean, just for me, it's like I just want to figure out a way for people to see me.
Okay.
And that's my whole thing, because it's like, it's so funny. And thank you for your patience, because it's like, what do I really want? What do I really want? I want to be seen by the people who need me. How's that? Because I was really glad I clarified. Hey, got clarity out of that, because I don't need to be seen. I don't need 1 million Instagram followers. Let's have 1,000 Instagram followers, and out of that, 10 of them, I'm supporting them. They're the people I serve. Great. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Let's just take the ego out of it. When I say it, I just don't care. Of course I care. I wouldn't put flowers in the hair and put the sparkle on the cheeks if I didn't care how I look or how people see me. But it's just like, I just want the people who I can serve and who are ready to have me support them. I want those people to see me. That's what I want them, like, most important. Sure, anything else is gravy. That's what and to try to figure out, because Facebook, oh my God. So here's where I'm ranting. On Tuesday, I asked a friend of mine who's actually friends with a couple people I know. I said, hey, can you friend me on Facebook? And she said, she's like, I'm not really into Facebook. I said, look, can I just do it for like another person, like as a friend? Because I don't mind asking that of friends for these types of things, because it truly wasn't going to turn into, and can you post every day? And can you tell me how great I am? No. Just she said, sure. She cannot find me on Facebook.
Oh,
Like she types in my name. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I checked my settings. I spent 3 hours trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And it's just stuff like that. It's like, oh, great. If Facebook is my main and people can't find me, great. So it's that type of stuff that
that's
just,
called e-dust. Your site or your Facebook page is collecting e-dust.
there you go. And it's like, oh my God. And
Well,
I
let me
even
tell
read
you,
something where they said you
Facebook's
should post.
important, Instagram's important. I don't want to dump an elephant and have her sit on your face too much here. But
No,
understand this.
I drink from a fire hose all the time. So just bring it,
Okay,
babe.
just know that this, I'll just call, in one of my interviews I did recently of a businessman said that I believe in the principle of a day in the life of my dream. And in other words, you imagining, take a notebook, a pad, just like this, I've been writing notes is what I'm doing when I turn my head away. And you have a notepad, $1.25, whatever it costs, and a pen, and you write a day in the life of Tiff down the road when your business is exactly where you want and imagine it to be. Now, just don't, if you get a page done and that's all you can come up with, you failed. You need to use up the whole notebook down to the smell of the breakfast in the morning and where you're sitting and the sunset or sunrise you're feeling and the ocean you're hearing sound because you're on a little trip because you can do your business anywhere with your laptop. All that kind of imagination, putting it down there, including some of your goals, which I call is the what I call the vision. The why is one thing. The vision is all the goals. The vision is a movie, this day in the life, and it has all these pieces to it that make up that movie. That's what a vision is all about. And the passion is what you're really doing that's driving all this, which you're trying to describe. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And there's some tools that you're going to use to get that done. And then once it's done, you have a quiet place. Now that you've written it out and you've imagined it in your mind, you went to the movies, I call it going to the movies. And you know, football player, I'm a guy, I love football. And you've heard of instant replay. Well,
Yes.
I use a term called instant pre-play, where instantly you pre-play in your mind. You know what worry is? It's pre-playing something you don't want to have happen. We don't want to do that. We don't want to pre-play something we don't want to have happen. But pre-playing something that we do want to have happen is what I call instant pre-play. And you pre-play in your mind visually what you want to have. And then when you, if there's really emotion tied to it and it's vivid, that little belief jumps to the next level of a conviction that gives birth to passion. So you're going to want to do this full routine. And then when you're done, you backtrack into it with another notepad, taking, oh, that piece, what's it going to take to have that? And then the next piece, what's it going to take to have that? And you're going to be able to break that down into pieces or starting points, maybe. And then that becomes your daily task that we'll talk about setting up your task. That, okay, when I started out with this coaching, this idea came at 2 a.m. because I wanted a way of income. I had some things I was going to do. And I always worked good with salary plus. I worked hard for a company, but when I plus was the commission, I own that as my own business because I could give myself commissions and give myself a raise. I always worked best in that. But I had, when I retired, I know I was going to be getting Social Security income. Well, that was my base. And the plus is from this and other type of things that I can do to increase my quote unquote income besides the base. But what did I want to do with it? And the thought came in at 2 a.m. I gave my, what I call my 2 amigos. There's 3 amigos, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your vibrational mind. And the last two, subconscious and vibration, I said, here's your assignment. You go into the recesses of my brain and go out in the universe and you come back with what's the best thing I can do to make that be that second part of that income. Well, 2 days later, about 2 a.m, I got woke up and it said, become a coach for beginner entrepreneurs. Because I've been working with small businesses for 40 years.
Wow.
And so I wrote it down by the bedside. I was tired. It was all scribbled. But then I took that and I said, coaching, okay, what do I have to do? This daily dream, and I broke it down. I need to come up with a name. I need to come up with a tagline. I need to come up with a curriculum. I mean, it just started the flow of some 13, writing them down.
Right.
So I started to break that down into goal setting of daily tasks. And I have to tell you a story of the name, and then I won't talk about it. I'll answer some more questions. But coaching, living the dream coaching, it came to me, and I went online to see. It came another one in the morning, woke me up. coaching, living the dream. Because I love when people ask you, how you doing? I've heard people say, living the dream. They don't say living the dream. They say living the dream. So I jumped on, the network solutions. They have a little who is, you click on it to see what URLs are available. And I typed it in, and living the dream was there. It was available, but it was $75,000 for the URL.
Well,
and then the thought hit me sitting there right there. How about take the G off? Because people say it, living the dream. So I typed in living the dream, and it was available for $15.
this is
And
one
I
of the best
snagged it
stories I
immediately.
have ever heard about. No, this is the best story I've ever heard about a URL. I'm going to tell you right now.
It
Tell
was
you right now.
fabulous. So I say to you, there's gonna be some other things and whatever, but as you let your head go out to that universe and you send the assignment to your conscious mind, subconscious mind, your vibrational mind's kind of the water around the iceberg, conscious on the top, subconscious in the bottom. It's the water
Yeah.
vibrating that's out there that you put on your site, and you'll come up some names. I don't know, Tips by Tiffany. I don't know, something, whatever name that you want to come up with that shortens down to kind of, in essence, has the feeling of what you're about, what you're wanting to accomplish, that might attract attention immediately in what you're doing. Living the dream coaching, I think, is kind of fun. And I have to tell you, it wasn't me that came up with that. My assignments went out, and then they came back, and those two amigos said, Coach, get up, wake up. Anyhow, I woke up, and the thought was pounding in my head. I wrote it down, and I went searching, and there it was for $15. I couldn't believe it. Anyhow, and that launched a whole nother bunch of things for me, of the daily breaking down the tasks. And it's just been a fun journey. And it is a journey to alignment, Tiff. And that's what I help you go through. I'm going to help you with the steps, what to start with first. I'm going to help you with the steps. Okay, be careful. This is good, but don't do this, because it's going to do this for you. It's going to explode in your face, or it's going to bring down the road. Here's what's going to happen. That's the experience I have, that I could hopefully keep you from breaking your nose. And that's my goal. And then hopefully, as we move through the steps, you're going to get more and more excited. And with this process, that other side, that business mindset side, is going to imbue in you a confidence that you've never had before in yourself. I mean, you have it, I can tell, but it's going to go to another level, to the next level. And you're not going to just jump and take risks. I mean, business is a little bit of risk, but we're going to try to make it be informed decisions about the risk. And it's going to be fun. I think you're going to have some successes. And I think the women, you're going to be a little scared when you have that very first call, or the very first discussion, or post response, doing a post reply. It's going to just start to sink in, and you're not going to believe how much you love it. I suspect you're going to find passion, because what I'm hearing is something that is not out there. Okay, I want to do cleaning and get a bunch of women to go on and make some money. I mean, I would appreciate that too, but there's something emotional about what's going on here that's behind this for you. And I think that's really, it's kind of that coming up with something that's tailor-made, is why I call it tailor-made. That's kind of Tiffany oriented, or Tiff oriented. And so I'm excited about that there's that emotion behind it, because with the emotion and vivid, the imagining where you're going to go, you're going to get some real energy to what you're doing. At least that's the hope. So I'll hush. Any other questions I can answer for you?
When did you buy your domain? What year?
Okay, it was the early part of 2020.
That just adds to the story. My God.
I mean, it hadn't been taken yet. I couldn't believe it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
living the dream, this and living up, but the living the dream was not available. But putting coaching on, because it's a little longer, I understand. Instead of doing a little LTDP or little four letter type words like Google, whatever, doesn't mean anything. But I had to come up with something that told you what it is I do.
Yes.
Right in the URL, right in my business name. And that's kind of what you're going to want to look for. And I think you're going to come up with something that, I have it in my notes a long time, I won't bore you with them, but I had a page, there was 19 URLs I wrote down that I was writing and coming up with. And that was the one. And I started going down through it. And on the fourth one, it was living the dream. And so I typed it in, it was 75K. But I put coaching at the end, oh my goodness, and took the G off, and it was available. So I just scratched the other 19. I mean, it was done. I knew it was done.
Yeah, nice.
And that's going to happen for you when you find something that's right. Now, to be honest with you, I don't have all the answers. I'm not sure I like .biz. I'm not sure I like I mean, org is for organizations. I have an organization called tnbd.org, stands for True North Business Development, which is my parent, whatever. But I don't know how to say this. I like a URL that's a little bit shorter, but that truly has the essence in what you read. You kind of know what they're talking about. And it makes it easier for them. It's making it easier for search. It makes them easier to remember and type in when they come search you out. So, and then it also makes it easier when you come up with some fun pictures or graph or whatever you put on your Instagram that ties to that. If you look at my pictures I saw, it's all beautiful landscapes. Most of them include hiking or climbing or walking hard, which is the journey. And so my website tells the story of a journey, and you're going to have that fun, creative juices in you to how to package Tiff's business and make it be something that you'd want to be you'd respond to and draw you in. That's the biggest test, is to put yourself as the best client and take away the fluff and just say, would I be drawn to this? Does this excite me? Does this create curiosity? Am I ready to really click and inquire more of this person? And I want to go check it out. I want to see if I can trust them. That's what you're going to be doing. And when you get that going, Tiff, then the curriculum or what it is you want to teach, it's going to have so much more meaning. And getting up in the morning is not going to be a burden. I mean, it's going to be, you're going to get up because you can't wait to get in there and take it to the next step and get the next piece through the portal of your mind and manifest it. And that's kind of what I try to help the clients get to, that point where they're making that happen and moving along through those steps and then launching it. And I'm going to save you a bunch of broken noses on Facebook ads and on Instagram. I mean, they can be difficult and burdensome and expensive and frustrating and nothing happening. And I'm going to help you save some of that headache.
Nice.
Okay. So how are you feeling of, do you have a name? Have you, in the back of your mind, did you have a name for you call it a business? Is it just a post? Is it just a chat room? Or is it really something you want to have some income coming from? Obviously, so it is a business.
I mean, oh yeah, I mean, I do want the income. My plan right now is to do Facebook Lives and keep drawing people to my group, and then from there making the offer to work with me.
Okay. And the group, is there a name for the group that you're thinking about?
I have it already. It's called the Mompreneur Support Group.
The what?
Mompreneur. That's what I have right now.
Mompreneur, yes.
Like instead of entrepreneur.
Support.
But that was, as I was thinking, specifically business, and I might still stay there for now because I figure to niche down.
That was the question I was going to ask you with the,
yeah, because now it's kind of
legs that you have on it. Entrepreneur is one of them, but helping somebody break out and write a book maybe, or become a publisher or an artist or a decorator, or just doing things that fulfill them. I don't know. Entrepreneurs scare them away in some way. I don't know.
And that's just been something recent. So I appreciate the clarity of this call to say, okay. And yet I think I still am going to stick with the having a way for them to create income, because, and this is just I have to do more research, and I get that, because for me, I'm just kind of thinking from the kid's standpoint, if the family could have some stream of income that could help relieve stress from mom and dad, it just makes for a very pleasant family experience.
Happier home life.
Sure. Right. And so I'm glad that, I kind of like in talking to you, I'm like, I thought about that before, like which way, and then it's like, and then I thought, but in staying in this path, I think it's best, because it's almost like, it's not that I don't care about the moms. I do care about the moms so much. I adore my mom. She's my inspiration, and all my aunts. I just love kids so much. And I don't have any, but I've helped raise so many. And in that, I've loved and supported them, the village raising many children. And I have a huge family. So I've seen the houses that had the money stress and the houses that didn't. It's not that the ones that had the money stress were the more unhappy. it's just more often than not that added to less quality of life.
Yes. Yeah.
And so thanks for letting me kind of sound that out.
Well, it's definitely, what's the word? Put a little word down, need. I would define need, parentheses S, needs. There's many needs there. There's needs with relationships. There's needs with the connectivity with husband and wife that are bouncing around going different direction. There's needs between communication with mom and teens, mom and a 5-year-old that screams all the time. I mean, there's lots of needs of how to. I want to show you this. Part of that mindset that I talk about, the mind mentality, I have a little system called CT-FAR. It's called the CT-FAR model. I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it up.
Oh,
The C line is circumstance. The dotted line there says you can't
okay.
control the C line up above it, but the thoughts, fears, or feelings, actions, results you can. That's everything's managed and created because of thoughts. The feelings come from thoughts. Actions obviously comes from feelings, but they come from thoughts. And results are usually negative if the thoughts are negative. So we talk, and I use that a lot. And that's what your women are dealing with. And they're dealing with their husband. And that's the tool of CT-FAR, is to manage your thoughts. They often blame a circumstance for what they're experiencing of emotions. It's not the circumstance. It's their thoughts about the circumstance. It's generating that feelings. And then in connection with the husband and wife, I talk about this one. It's the first two options. I'll show it up in a second, but there's two tools. There's the tool that I call setting the table. And there's the tool that I call the third option. And that's what this is doing. This one says your view and your spouse's view or your partner's view. And down below is the third option. What it's saying is this little line here is connections. And when you can see there's no connection there, they're not touching. So it's disconnect. Right. And many times as people run away or whatever, but the husband can't stand the conversation, whatever. And the third option is a tool how to get there and have this section that's kind of like the eye of a cat is that third option. It's coming up with the right tool that lets them say, we have things that we agree on. And that's where the connection is going to be. And so when they're facing and running a business, they have these things in their home happening. So I've got to help coach that as well. And so there's tools that I have to help somebody get to where they can feel right about writing that book and letting the kids go to school and investing in their time and have the spouse agree with it. There's tools to get over those hurdles is what I'm trying to say. And so it's a type of life coaching as well, but this is business and life coaching mix. And I love it because it's people's lives. I want them to be happy. I want them to feel fulfilled. I want them to have passion. And I want them to have some extra cash and have it grow and feel the confidence come because they're succeeding. And nothing was more exciting when I was making over $43,000 a month. Years ago, I only made that per year. To have it happen during a month, it just, you can imagine. Well, yeah, people don't have to have that kind of income, but just having an extra $2,000 coming in can take some heat off. And so there's a lot of things that really the human being needs to realize that they need help. And most people, the last thing they'll go do is get a coach. I don't know why that is, but all the big achievers, the Michael Jordans of the world, for example, when he left basketball, he went to play baseball, didn't he? Do you know what the first thing he did when he left basketball? He hired a coach to learn how to hit the ball and to do baseball. He got a coach. As a multimillionaire basketball, he still got a baseball coach to help him. And that's just a perfect example. And so I'm glad that you're checking things out, Tiff. That's great. A big check for you for being smart about that and going through that process. If it's me, I'll be thrilled. If it's somebody else, I'll still be thrilled because we all need a coach.
Yes.
So.
No, so it's been a lot to think about. And of course, I think I tend to overthink.
That's okay. Just when you're overthinking, write it down. So that way you can get it out of your head and it's right there. You know it's there. You're not going to lose it and you can go on. Otherwise, we're just repeating the same 10 or 12 things over and exhausting ourselves. So I go through, I've got a whole stack of, let me show you right here, I've been down. I've got a whole stack of these. They're little notepads. When I finish one, I get on to the next one because I'm taking it out of my brain so I can be clear-minded and I know it's saved. It's not going to be lost. And then I live and breathe because I sometimes might not get it. I live and breathe, but you know what these are, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I live and breathe by those because I can jot a quick thing here and then I'll come back to it and flesh it out more. Because I have a pen and a lot of these right by my bedstand, because when it's there, I want to jot down a few of those thoughts, capture it, and then go back to sleep. And then I can flesh it out later. So that's just an important thing.
That is so cool. Thank you for.
Well, like I said, I don't do a real heavy close. That's not what I'm about. On that, I'm going to do a share account just to show you where to go if you decide.
Okay.
On this
Yeah.
right here, on this here, when you're on your page of the home page of my site, right here is a member login. But on the page, I'm going to go back. It's going to take a second because I've got so much things going on. I'm going to go right here to the home page of Living the Dream Coaching. And I'm going to show you a link down at the bottom of the page that, I mean, you can go through all this stuff here. There's a lot of stuff to take in on this page, on Let Me Help, on podcast, all that there. But when you get down to it, I'm going to go down towards the bottom here, see if it has it. Yeah, okay. Right down towards the bottom. On the homepage, this is Get a Free Glimpse of Secrets I've Learned. That's a fun one. And a little bit about me. I do a little watch on my number 12 marketing tip. I share a little clip from out of that to give you a sense of what's going to come when we do the marketing. But down below here, there's a free thing here. I probably should take that out because he filled it out. I'm just going to, anyhow, you can join this. It's called Good to Know Tips. It's free. You get them every Monday, and I do a little 10-minute video.
Oh, fun.
On this, I don't know where it went. On this page, a home page, I clicked the wrong button, but on the home page down towards the bottom, let's see. There we go. It says, I'm ready to take my first step. When you click on that, it'll go to a page that gives you a choice to sign up as a member on a month-to-month basis, or buy the package of the whole year for $475. But the other one's $50. And I'll say, if you listen to the video on that, anyone who signs up for their first month, I'm going to help them see where all the stuff is, the things that they get. There's several things of these pages I showed you here. They're all there. It's all part of that first lesson. If after that first month, just before the month's out, if you find it wasn't the coaching experience you were looking for, you didn't feel it was the value you thought was hoping that it should have, I refund everything and take you out of the system. Boom, no questions asked. It's free. In other words, I don't want you to come in and be unhappy. That's not a good relationship if you're not thrilled with what's happening. And so after that first month, if you stay on, then I know you're going to go month to month. It's not a monthly charge without you knowing. It's you choose to stay on a monthly basis. It's an automatic bill. You go to the end of the page here on your account, which right up here, you'll have an account where you have a login, and you'll be able to go to your account and cancel things if ever you want to cancel. That's entirely up to you. But and you'll have your own member login sent to you, and you'll store it in a little email folder, and you'll know how to get in and go get access to all that stuff. Okay. And
Cool.
so that's what it is. So it'll be the $50. And if you love it, great. We'll continue. One thing I didn't say is I have a relationship with Coach Croy Crather. He's the one that I listened to. If you listen to my story on my journal, the very first thing I talked about him, it changed my life. So I started doing it. Well, this audio series he had, it's like $300, $397, whatever it was, and tells my story, what I did when I purchased it, because it was so impactful. All my clients, when they sign up for that first $50 that first month, I send them the link to access their own full series at no cost. It's just part of their $50. They have that. They keep it even if they cancel it later. I don't care, because they have that information. And that's what he says, a note from Coach B, welcome, blah, blah, blah. So anyhow, just know that that would be yours, and it's available if you so decide. And I just think it changes people's lives. The videos are fun. You know, that dreaming we talked about where we visualize things, he has a whole audio on that. It's fabulous. It's so fun. But anyhow, that's part of that first month as well. So that's as much selling that I'll do, Tiff. That's all I say. It's up to you to go from there. And so if you do, that's where you'd sign up. I'm ready to start. That's would take you in, and they'll tell you which one to choose, and you can go from there. If that's what you do.
Cool.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Well, we've
Thank you
got
for walking me through
a couple
it.
minutes.
So
Any last questions? A couple minutes left?
No, I just that's good for a couple minutes left. Let's see. I mean, what is for someone starting out, and if there was one thing above all else that they would have in their mind when starting, like a good thought mindset to start, what would you advise?
Good question. I'm not going to generalize it. I'm going to specifically be specific to you because you've given me some good information. You've already kind of gone past that step lesson 1 of deciding a good business for yourself, coming up with an idea. You have your idea, but now there's things to do about it to see how to flesh it out, see if it's going to create some real problems. Will it succeed out there in terms of doing some testing, all that kind of thing. But now that you've come up with it, I'd be working on a name and that you can include and infuse in your Instagram, Facebook page. I'd make sure that Facebook page is going to be a title. My Facebook page is Marty Braden - Living the Dream Coaching. I mean, it's very simple. You can type that in, it's there. Or Living the Dream Coaching, it takes you right to it. Or Marty Braden, there's 2. I have pages that too, but the Living the Dream Coaching is the one I use. I don't spend a whole lot of time on that page. I have it there as a link so that when I do a Facebook ad, it ties it into that and lists my leads and all that kind of thing. It's tied to my page and my pixel, which we'll talk about, how it tracks things for you so that it's keeping your stats for you. But what I would be doing other than the name is I'd be getting those notepads and I'd start to write out, quote, your why. And you've given me pieces of what your why you want to do this, and your vision. And that vision is expanding it all. And then another page to the side or another page is breaking down the pieces that you know you've got to get done. It doesn't matter. I've got a whole, here it is. I have my master to-do list right here. These are the last few pages. I'm still working on my to-dos.
Nice.
Type and check off, check off, check off. And it started out with just a title. And then what are the pieces of that title? Then another title. What are the pieces of that title? Facebook page. What are the pieces of that page? That's what I'd be working on to kind of get it fleshed out of what it is you are wanting to put together and how you go about it, the next steps, what to do. A lot of beginner entrepreneurs have no clue what the next step is. And they wallow and struggle and they go here and then it's discouraging, all that kind of thing. Well, there's some very key steps, logical sequential steps. And so that's the first thing I do is to start to break down what it is you're going to want to and why you want to offer it to these women. And stepping back and say, would I get excited about that? Tiff, even if it was 4 to 10 major, what I call titles, and then subtitles underneath it will break down, but maybe it's help women break out. And then underneath that, it's 1, a piece of that, 2, a piece of that, 3, a piece of that. And then under those pieces, bullets. Well, this is how you break out that. This is how you break down that. That's the stepping stone that you're going to want to do of having to lay out what it is you're asking yourself of yourself. You know,
wow, yeah,
business that you're doing, when somebody clicks and you're having this kind of a call with them right now, or they're doing a follow-up with you, you've already kind of got in your mind because you went through that going to the movies process and you got the steps and you did everything. You now, and it may be hard, but you know what's so nice? All the steps you're going through, it's going to embed in you your coaching to help them go through those similar steps. Does that make sense? So you're going to have your history that'll help you. And that, you know what's so nice about that, Tiff, is they're going to feel the authenticity of it. I hope you're feeling I'm authentic because I've lived this.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's going to come, and that's what's going to draw them in is your authenticity. This gal knows what she's talking about. She's been through it. She's going to keep, and I need someone that I can lean on that can help me through the fear and the challenge and the resistance and the procrastination. And you're going to help them get those mind broken through, and they're going to have some great things happen. And you're going to be the help of the root of that to have it happen. That's what I'd be doing right now is breaking that down. Even if it's a small page or 2, and then expand it so you can do the steps and then to prioritize which of this 5 or 6 things that I said is the one I got to get after. And then those bullets are the daily tasks. And when you do the work and you get in your mind, you just, you know what, just doing that much and getting on paper, you're accomplishing. You're doing your dream because it's little pieces. And the next one you check off, you get 2 pieces that have come through the portal of your mind. Then you get that first major with the 5 pieces done. You know, on the next, that was a major thing you got done. You are accomplishing, you are being successful. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say there? Too many people want to wait until it's done. That's not when you celebrate. You celebrate with every little piece. The fact you had this conversation, you need to give yourself a high five. I took it to the next level. I put myself out there. I'm running the risk of my time. That's the kind of mentality I'm talking about. So that's what I do.
Wow.
That's what I do.
Thank you. Wow. That last 2 minutes was pretty awesome. Just want to tell you. I mean, the rest was great too, but just that last couple, like, whoa. But again, the favorite's always going to be the story of the URL. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, I've recorded this. I will save it, retitle it Tiff Loef, and I will email it to you.
Oh, wow.
It'll
That
be
is
a
so
YouTube,
generous.
it'll be
Thank
a
you.
YouTube link, and you just click. And so if you want to go back and have notes and that, it'll be great for you to do that. I want you to do that because this is a personal one-on-one that we've done here in a free coaching. Down the road, if you then are willing, because you have, then I'll load it up as part of my ones that I've done, but I always get permission on that. So I
Sure,
won't do
sure.
it yet. I want to make sure you have a chance to look at it and go from there. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. I hope to
Oh
hear
my
from
gosh.
you, but if
Thank
not,
you.
we'll be in touch. But thanks for jumping on. I mean,
I really appreciate this tremendously.
I
Thank
always
you.
end my videos one way. I want to wish you continued success. Bye.
Oh, likewise. Thank
Okay.
you.
You betcha. Bye-bye, Tiff.